Hi, I'm going to show you something now that I've been working on that I think is deeply profound, and I think it highlights really where we are going with technology and specifically with AI, and how it can be embedded into governance already right now. And I think it's mind blowing what I'm about to show you. For me, it's had a deeply profound effect on my relationship with data, with information, and how we can now interrogate our own information to support what we do, to improve what we do, and to allow us to have more time to focus on what matters most. So let me introduce you now to Mango Lane Church of England Primary School. This is a fictitious school that I've created with a load of fictitious governance documents that mirror and match everything that you would see in everyday schools. So it's got quality of education reports, school improvement plan is in there. It's got the last Ofsted inspection, minutes, head teacher reports, roles and responsibilities, literally everything that's in there. And what this allows us to do is AI is built into the folder structure. So what you see in front of me is just a front end I've built to demonstrate this. But this could be a tool that every governing board has, and it's limited access to the governing board members, but it allows every single governing board member to almost effectively make external reviews of governance on the fly in real time, to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the school, to check policies, to review information, to find out when the last minutes were recorded. So I preempted a few questions here as well. So if we look at, let's check the policies for any outdated references or errors. What that's going to do is going to read through in the background all of the policies that exist within the folder structure behind the scenes, and it's going to look through those policies and check for any outdated references or errors. So you can think of this as a little bit like an inbuilt clerk or inbuilt advisor or auditor of absolutely anything that you would want to look at here. So click the button. And as I said, these are just pre-populated questions, but I could put absolutely anything in the bottom here as well. So very quickly, it's going through a critical error within the safeguarding policy. It concerns a reference to the Diocese of Manchester and the Manchester Safeguarding Children Partnership, when in fact it should be the Diocese of Blackburn, as confirmed in the Capital Priorities document, which states the building is owned by the Diocese of Blackburn. And the location is Section 1, school vision and context, whatever that means. This can quite happen in school, and head teachers quite often create templates, as we all do, and borrow templates from other areas. And one of the most common mistakes that we find is that where we've forgotten to change names, or we've not done them quite often, or if we're taking documents from the key and policies from there, we're not changing that master name for the school, for the policy that we've adopted, and it's not there. It's very difficult for humans to spot this, but AI loves this kind of stuff, and it will look quite well. What this means here in location is that actually in the location of the school, it has a school vision and context that's missing within Section 1 area. So what else it's doing? It's saying the SEND policy states the SENCO is Miss Emily Taylor, and it states in the SEND information report there's Miss Emily Taylor, but through the head teacher reports tell us that Miss Emily Taylor actually left on that term, and it's Miss Caldwell that's covering the SENCO. So this information needs updating on our website with the new SENCO, because it currently has the old one. It is cross-referenced the head teacher's report and read the policy, and it's made those connection between the two things to do that. And it's saying that the impact that the parents reading these policies would receive incorrect and contact information. It's looked at the behaviour policy and the school rules listed as be kind, be safe, be ready, but also reference 4 school rules, be respectful, be safe, be ready, be kind elsewhere. So it's inconsistent with how that's applied. The visits policy has the old school vision. So it really looks at everything. And if you think how long this would take a person to do in physical time, or whether they'd even spot that, whether they'd have the inclination to do that, this just laps it up. This wants to do this information the whole time. So it's gone through absolutely everything in literally instantly for us to create an action plan. And this allows us to effectively govern much better and to get the quality of our governance far better than where it is currently without this intervention. Let's have a look at the financial issues. So we have every board, it's one of the core functions of governance. managing finances and being responsible for the school finances. Let's have a look at what they look like. So it's going to reference everything that's within here, within this. And so it's only as good as the information that we keep. But when we know that we can submit as much information and that information can be queried and compiled within categories, it allows us to keep feeding that information, knowing that the more we feed it, the more intelligent that it becomes and the more patterns that it can recognize. So with here, it's told us what our financial crisis is. It's an actual crisis. It's labelled it as that we are operating with a deficit with no reserves whatsoever. Projected in-year deficit of 32,000, but this has been agreed with the LA, but it's unsustainable operating. It shows here that we've got a decline in roll numbers that are happening. Our September intake is only 14 against a PAN capacity of 30. It's got our 3-year financial projections here, and it's telling us everything that we need to know. So I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to move away from in here, and I'm going to ask some of the questions that are not in here, because in this bar you can literally interrogate it for absolutely anything. I want to know which governors have not completed prevent training. So I'm the Trainer Link governor, and I want to know exactly which ones have not completed the prevent training. And again, it's told us Dr. Sharma, Reverend Ashworth, and Dr. Orsai have not completed it, and it's got their role, and they've not done it. Additionally, it tells us who's done it, but they've left, so we've got a deficit in those areas. So very quickly, we've done an audit of that. Now, let's say I mentioned external views of governance before. We know how long they can take a lot of the time as they go through all those information. And yes, there is a human element to those external views of governance. But for a real-time assessment of the board, let's create a review of governance. So provide a review of governance. Strengths and weaknesses. And an action plan. And you can see that's coming through now real time. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what the outcome of this would be. So this is what it's telling us now. Strengths. We've got an established governance structure, clear committee structure, comprehensive scheme of delegation in place, regular meeting schedule, financial oversight, regular budget monitoring. For the resources committee, proactive identification of financial risk. We've got a 3-year budget, dedicated safeguarding governor, regular CR, single record checks documented. Governor engagement, governor's visit, weeks scheduled and conducted. So governor weaknesses, so capacity and recruitment. So we've had a parent governor unfilled for 8 months, despite multiple recruitment attempts. We're reactive rather than proactive in our approach to major challenges. SENCO role is already covered by a stretched head teacher, so there's no governor challenge recorded on the impact that's having on the head teacher. Quality of governor, minutes lack depth of challenge and strategic discussions, risk management. Key risks requiring immediate attention. Financial stability, we looked at that previously, so cumulative deficit reaching 300,000 within 4 years. Leadership capacity, the head teachers covering the SENCO, plus teaching with no sustainable plan. Infill vacancies, high risk, academic standards, and here's what we need to do. I'm not saying this covers, replaces an external review of governance. That's not what I'm saying. But this is allow us to do this in real time and to always be proactive as a governing board, trying to improve and be better for our schools. Going to look at this here and just test some of this information. So we should just test it. Regular CX. So I want to know how regular. What does regular mean? That stood out to me as I was doing that. So how regular and when. Were SRC checks document. Let's see what it throws up. Here we go. So now it's read through all the documentation that we've got behind the scenes, and it's telling us when that was checked. Autumn 2025, check there, compliant. That's the most recent one. States is up to date. It's been checked by the chair. So again, there, and it's there. So there's the evidence of where it is and where you can find it in the minutes, so that you can cross-reference the information that we're putting in there. Should be checked at least terminally, and it's now it's actually done a report. So expected checks. These are the documented checks that's happened there. So there's 2 checks in that academic year. 1 check here, 1 check is missed. So it's not as good as we see when we deep down. So it's gone through all the information, and then it's checked when that should be. The possibilities are endless for this. This is very much kind of an early version that can do that. I can build it out really quickly. I can get that live within any document structure, not just in governance or trust, in absolutely anything. And while this is an early model, it just highlights what we've got, our capacity now, and how that is going to really shape how that we're interacting with information, and our relationship with how we interact with it as well. I think it's deeply fascinating, deeply exciting, and I think we need to be a little bit more ambitious now with what's available, and be right now kind of using this, I think, as well. Of course, it throws up questions of privacy and how secure that privacy is, but when you have the good governance systems that go over that, and you understand how these things are implemented through single APIs that are kind of researching that and linking into this, it's actually much safer to do this than just uploading it into ChatGPT, into Copilot, or anything that's going off and training some of the data models. With what I've built here, this is off a local API that's going through. The information isn't going anywhere, and it's just using it to query within this framework as well. So really interesting. Looking forward to kind of creating and sharing more information with you. Thanks for watching.